Are you serious? Are you serious? You're looking at the area that the new defense system that Russia is putting in place, the S-400 anti-air missile defense system that Putin has just said will be in place over Syria, and it's right there near the border of Turkey. So it's right there. Of course, look how close it is to Lebanon. It covers Lebanon's border, Turkey's border, Damascus in Syria, of course, basically all of Syria, a little bit of Iraq, a little bit of Iran, Jordan, all of Israel, a little bit of Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Cyprus. I mean, all of this gets blanketed into this. And so basically it sets up a no-fly zone, because you're going to have to communicate with the Russians before you can fly in and make bombing runs on ISIS. So there has been a change here. Let me just read a little bit of this article. The Debka file. I want to thank James McKay for this report, but the deployment of a highly advanced Russian S-400 anti-missile defense system there at the Russian air base that they put in, the Russian military Klemenian air base, the military enclave in Syria, right there near Latanka province, which is on the border of Turkey. So if you combine Russia's electronic jamming devices and other electronic warfare equipment, they have definitively and effectively transformed Syria into a no-fly zone under Russian control. So, United States, France, anybody and everybody, Turkey, that wants to fly in this area and bomb ISIS, let's say, will have to clear it through Russia. This is Russia taking preeminence and dominance of the Middle East. The Americans had this same capability and even better. We have backed out. Obama's doctrine is America is backing out totally, and Russia will rule the Middle East. The hook is in the jaw. Now, just now we had breaking news today. Prime Minister David Cameron of the British, the nation of the United Kingdom, he is ordering the British Royal Air Force to target Islamic State militant groups in Syria. Thing is, he'll have to clear it through the Russians. Can't just fly in there now. Nobody can just fly in there now. It has to be cleared with the Russians. And so this is what we're talking about here. It's a whole new, it's a game changer. This S-400 air missiles, this anti-missiles, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And so we're going to have to wait and see how this all plays out. We're going to talk about all of this. And of course, the Paris Climate Chaos Summit is going on. But the real chaos, folks, is really taking place now in who's going to control the Middle East. Are you serious? Are you serious? Syria is dead. Well, that's what the director of Political Security Division of the Defense Ministry of Israel is saying. Here's a headline. Syria is dead and Israel must prepare. Folks, they got to get things ready, because if it's lawlessness going on in Syria, and it is, then Israel is in a dangerous situation with the border. Basically, nobody really running the country up there. The nation state of Syria has collapsed, a fact that Israel must internalize about its northern neighbor, a senior Israeli defense official said Saturday. Syria is a dead state, and Israel must understand this and prepare accordingly, according to Amos Gilead, the director of Political Security Division in the Defense Ministry and a former senior military intelligence official told a cultural event that this is what's happening in Beersheba. Now, Assad, President Assad, his grip on the country is faltering. And it has been for 4 years since the Arab Spring, really. He's not been in charge for 4 years. Nobody has, really. It's just getting worse. It's a land without rule, said Gilead, according to Army Radio out of Israel. Now, with swaths of Syria failing and falling in the hands of the opposition forces, including jihadist groups like ISIS, Assad has increasingly relied on support from allies like Iran and Lebanon-based terror group Hezbollah, both sworn enemies of Israel. During a September meeting in Moscow, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rushed over to Russia. You remember that? On a Monday morning, just was there, spent 3 hours with Russian President Vladimir Putin in no uncertain terms that Israel would not tolerate Iran's efforts to arm its enemies in the region, and that Jerusalem has taken and will continue to take action against any such attempts. Now, this is right out of the Bible, folks. Right out of Psalms 83. I mean, really, it is. And when you begin to realize it, listen to what the scripture says. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a turmoil, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They've taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They've said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. I mean, this is exactly what's happening with the 6 superpowers coming together with Iran. They formed a coalition, shoving Israel out of the way, bringing Iran into the mainstream, world powers. Russia now sets up shop where? In Syria, locked arms with who? Iran and Hezbollah. Meanwhile, Russia says they're going to smack ISIS. America says they are smacking ISIS. French is actually trying to do it. And nobody's doing anything to stop them, really. And now Russia and Turkey about ready to fight. Where? Syria. Hezbollah's moving weapons from Damascus to Lebanon. Where? Syria. Al-Qaeda and Al-Nusra parade around the edges of the Israeli-Syrian and Lebanon border. Where? In Syria. Russia has set up a new air base in the region and have flying planes along the border of Israel and Turkey. From where? Syria. Assad is buried in a bunker deep somewhere in Damascus. Where? In Syria. And the United States has thrown 50 boots on the ground. Where? Syria. And the French are dropping bombs. Where? On Syria. So, Syria is dead. And the war is alive. Are you saved? Middle East madness. That's what we're going to talk about today in a live broadcast at my website, www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Do not miss tonight's Sunday Night Live special edition on the Middle East madness. We're going to cover it all. Don't miss it. Give your life to Jesus Christ. The prophecies continue to happen